Welcome to Madison City Channel's Know Your Candidates interviews, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Dane County. I'm your interviewer, Sarah Punt, and I would like to introduce Sean Burke, running for Dane County Board Supervisor for District 12. As we begin, please give an opening statement about the educational, vocational, and civic experience you have which prepares you for this office, and why you are running for Dane County Board.
Well, first of all, thank you, Sarah, and thank you to the League of Women Voters for this opportunity to address the people of District 12. My name is Sean Burke. I have lived in Dane County most of my life since attending private school at Holy Name Seminary. I have had some education primarily at Madison College, but I have a lot of experience working in corporate tax and as a community activist. I have been an LGBTQ activist since the 90s, and I most recently, in the last 3 or 4 years, have become an advocate for the unhoused here in Dane County, which seems to be a crisis point for the county. And I'm running because I'm trying to offer the people who don't necessarily have a voice, and to offer the county board a very new perspective, and one that's from the people, not from interest or from collective groups that may support them.
How should the county address the significant budget deficit expected for the 2027 budget?
That's a great question. One of the first things I think that needs to be done is the county board needs to start working on the budget right away. Once they're sworn in, they need to start working on it. They need to focus on where they can find cost savings. I've actually proposed what some would consider radical, but I think it's already been done here in Dane County, is the consolidation of housing services with the city of Madison. There's a lot of repetition that goes there. There's also a lot of reliance on outside vendors. And I think some of those functions can be brought in-house, which will save money for the county. But we also need to just watch where we're spending. We need to implement protocols for reconciling contractor invoices to make sure that there's no waste or fraud taking place. What I've been telling people in the district is we need to treat our money like they treat their money. They have a budget, we have a budget, and we sometimes have to realize we have to live inside that budget and just make tough decisions. But I think that we primarily need to stop putting the burden on taxpayers. This last budget, we increased property taxes and raised fees across the board on everything from dog licenses, vehicle registration, to over 20 fees at Dane County parks. People are already paying enough because of the situation in this country with increased tariffs. We don't need to be taxing them more.
What specific ideas do you have to increase the supply and quality of affordable housing and to preserve existing affordable housing?
Again, the concept of getting our budget in order will allow us to keep taxes lower, which in turn won't raise rents. Those things kind of go hand in hand. I also believe that we need to look at new opportunities like remodeling distressed properties and turning them into multifamily units. There are properties that might be plagued with police problems, such as older hotels and such, that might present opportunities for single family or just individuals to have one-bedroom apartments. So there's a lot of options out there that haven't been explored yet.
What more, if anything, do you think the county needs to do to address the needs of our neighbors experiencing homelessness?
We need to care more. I've seen this firsthand. I feel sometimes like I've been a supervisor almost over in District 12 because people in that area, particularly in the hotels that haven't been able to find housing and have been there long term, have turned to me as a person of resource. If I could, I'd like to share a story with you. There is a woman at a hotel who's currently going through chemotherapy treatment. She tried since last July to get county services to get back to her, and she didn't receive a phone call. I picked up the phone and made a few calls with people I knew in the nonprofit sector, and I'm happy to report that we now have her on a list that gets her into coordinated entry and then on the path to getting housing for her and her partner and her 5-year-old daughter. So we just need to get more hands-on with this problem and less policy-wise. We need to really get down to see how the policy impacts the people and where the failures are with any contractors that we may have.
When faced with making difficult, controversial decisions, how will you ensure you are getting input from residents with a broad range of perspectives?
I consider myself to be a very open person as far as ideas. No idea is off the table. Well, that's not too radical. But I think that everyone deserves a voice. Progressives, moderates, and even conservative people, because we represent everyone in the district. For example, I disagree with the county's decision to freeze 20 positions at the sheriff's department. I think that was a bad decision because those jobs are needed for workers in the jail, which, by the way, taxpayers are already paying taxes on the jail, so it makes sense to have those people prepared to work there. And that's just somewhat an idea and a conversation I've had with some of the conservative people in District 12. So there aren't any bad ideas out there. It's just listening to people and seeing what is going to work the best for everybody.
Please describe any other priorities for your term in office. If these include new or expanded programs, how would you propose to fund them?
Right now, my biggest priority is to look to where we can save money and then use that money for other services. I hate having to raise taxes on people. I think they've been taxed like crazy lately in Dane County with the school board and the city referendum. What I'd like to do is, again, look at Dane County Human Services. That represents over 50% of the county's budget. And there's a lot of things that I have personally seen and have not been shy to speak out about when it comes to waste. It's been unpopular with some of the current board, but I know it's the right thing because that's people's money that's being spent and being wasted. So I'm speaking up already, and I'm not afraid to do it. So, but one other priority that has kind of moved to the forefront in District 12 particularly involves the harm reduction center that was proposed for the district. We just found out this week that Kaya has dropped their bid to manage that contract, and I have proposed on my Facebook page, which is Burke for Dane County on Facebook, a 5-point plan on how we can get to solve the needs of the community while still offering services to those that need it the most. And I think that our current supervisor should be out there leading on this, and unfortunately he hasn't. But I would like to also take an opportunity real quick, if I may, to thank Alder Sabrina Madison, who has been really bringing this issue to the forefront. So I look forward to working with Alder Madison in the future on where we can figure out issues for District 12.
What would you like to say to the viewing audience as we complete this interview?
I'd like the viewers to know that I'm one of you. I live paycheck to paycheck sometimes. I know what you're going through when you have to make tough decisions. And I know when you open that tax bill and you see that jump, or you see that, your dog license or your parking fees are going up around the county, I understand that. It's not just a policy. And I want the people of District 12 to know that I'm a straight talker. I'm not going to tell you something to make you happy. If it's the truth, I'm going to tell you. And if it hurts, I have to just be honest with you about it. I can't make promises I can't keep. And I just want them to know that that their priorities are my priorities at all times.
I want to thank Sean Burke for speaking with us, and thank the viewing audience for taking the time to know your candidates. I want to remind everyone that the primary election is Tuesday, February 17th, and the general election is Tuesday, April 7th. Every election is important. Please vote. On behalf of Madison City Channel and the League of Women Voters of Dane County, I thank you for joining us.